And I go, I would vote for Trump before I'd vote for Biden.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Benny. Sometimes you get depressed in the current news cycle and you think that like the world is against you because all of these institutions have been utterly corrupted by the Marxists, education, federal law enforcement, and so forth. And you're like, man, geez, like, do we have anything going for us? And I'm telling you, yes, absolutely, we do. And we are actually looking at an incredible new renaissance of free thought and ideas that is going to be led by people like Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, and the regime doesn't know what the hell to do about it. They're terrified. Joe Rogan's all but endorsing Donald Trump right now. It's wild to see. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen. So Joe Rogan's podcast is subscribed to by 15 million people, all right? And this is according to Wikipedia, so you have to assume that this is potentially inaccurate, right? Billions of total views. 3 billion total views. Yeah, right. Probably 40 times that. But this is the most subscribed to podcast in the world. Conversely, you have cable news, which is in competition with Joe Rogan, right? For viewers and eyeballs and listeners. And you're looking at the inability to even crack 3 million. 3 million. This is on Fox, okay? So you can't even crack 3 million viewers a night on any of the shows. Hannity, Waters, none of the shows. And when you look over at the young people, right, the coveted demographic of young people that watch, this is pathetic. I mean, utterly pathetic. 200,000 and 300,000. That's just for Fox. You go over here to CNN, it's all 100,000 people. Right here, Jake Tapper, 100,000 people are watching. 100,000 people? And then Jake Tapper can't even crack 1 million people. So Joe Rogan having 15 million people is more powerful than all cable news combined. All cable news combined. Which is why they're so terrified of moments like this. Joe Rogan saying on his most recent podcast, yo, everything was better with Donald Trump. Red pill moment from the sun. Without a doubt, everything in the world was better with Donald Trump, and things are scary as F with Joe Biden. Watch.
He was in all the rap songs. Rappers would always talk about Trump. Everybody loved Trump. It was like this wheeling, dealing billionaire character that everybody enjoyed.
Yeah. I felt like he did a decent job.
As president? When you look at his regulations, it certainly helped the economy.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
that guy who was
I
the
feel
head
like
of...
we were in a lot better spot then than now, for sure.
Without a doubt. Well, there's a lot of happened. COVID and the world.
Right.
The world scares the shit out of me right now. Right now, I'm like, boy, this is not good. None of this Ukraine thing, not good. Yeah, everything not good. Everything scares the shit out of me. I'm looking at all of it going, like, there's no good solutions to the Middle East. All of it looks terrible. And the Ukraine thing looks terrible. It just scares the shit out of me because it's just like all it takes is one person to launch a nuke and the world changes forever.
Right.
And I've never felt like that was a possibility in my lifetime until now.
Of course, one of the more interesting things that Joe Rogan has been experiencing since he goes from California to Texas has been the impact of illegal immigration. He talks about it far more now. He saw it a lot in California. He's seeing it a lot in Texas. These are states that suffer greatly from illegal immigration and a massive, massive Achilles heel for Democrats. Nobody in this country, no one in this country likes illegal immigration, except for the demonic and satanic globalists. Joe Rogan going off. This country is being invaded, and there are terror cells here in America. This is what he's telling his massive audience.
You know, the border's been invaded by hundreds of thousands of illegals. How many of them are militants? How many of them have snuck in across the border and are forming terror cells? We don't know. I mean, that's the giant fear.
That's for sure happening.
For sure.
There's no doubt.
For sure.
I read this thing that there's like 6 to 10 million people that came across the southern border in the last 4 to 5 years. That's as many people that live in New York City. And then like a crazy increase in people coming across the northern border.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like, and I see it. I've been in California a lot the last few months. It's insane how many more people are just obviously all of a sudden just appearing like getting dropped off on like street corners with buses, literally just in the middle of nowhere. They literally just get off the bus with a cell phone.
But look at New York City. When Cuomo was explaining how New York City
Yeah.
literally has a mandate to house its homeless.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the people that lived there that were down on their luck. And now it's people that have come in from other cities or other countries rather, illegally. And they're trying to make it so that those people can vote. And you see what they're doing with people from Venezuela?
Crazy.
They're sending people back from Venezuela.
Only from Venezuela.
Yeah, because Venezuela opposes socialism, so they're not going to vote Democratic.
Yeah.
They don't want those people.
That's crazy.
This is fucking wild.
It's crazy how it's so like when you start thinking about it like that. That sounds like a conspiracy theory, but it's like totally political. All these moves.
100%.
Yeah.
They're literally importing Democratic voters.
Yeah.
They think by allowing the borders to be porous and by giving people aid and giving people housing that you're essentially guaranteeing that if you can rig it so that those people are allowed to vote, those people are going to vote Democratic. And if you could say that, oh, voter ID is racist, like what? Voter ID is racist.
That's crazy they think that.
They
don't think that. They don't think that. They know that that's not true.
It's horse.
Yeah.
It's all political horse. But that's unfortunately the level of discourse that we have today, especially with all the virtue signaling on social media and all the people clamoring to prove that they're the most progressive and the most open-minded and equitable, and we're all down for inclusivity and like
They're importing Democrat voters. If you can't rig it so these people are allowed to vote, they're going to vote Democrat. Joe Rogan came from California. This is precisely what happened in California. Illegal immigration, the promise of unlimited government goodies for total fealty to the Democrat Party that will give you those goodies. This is a system that they piloted in California, and then they are going to try and bring this national. There are far too many good people, middle-class people that just want to work for a living in this country. We need more dependents. That's how we get Democrat voters. Joe Rogan nails it. Never Trump people. They'll vote for a box of hammers before they vote for Trump. And he's going after the people that won't vote for Trump. Joe Rogan straight up on the Trump train at this point. Watch.
I guess the question is, do they firmly believe that Biden can't win again if it's Trump or whomever?
The only way Biden's going to win again is never Trump. These never Trump people.
Yeah.
There are people that will vote for a fucking box of hammers before they would vote for Trump. And that's a real segment of our population. I don't know what percentage is, but it's probably fairly high. They have enough trust in the Democratic establishment that they think that the Democrats would figure out a way to run the country better, even with a puppet, than they would with Donald Trump in office.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan, of course, on his journey with all of us, going off on the Trump indictments. People who love Trump know that this is a witch hunt. It's a banana republic. Guys, again, the most powerful podcast on earth is on our side, along with the richest man on earth, Elon Musk. We have great things coming our way. Watch.
Yeah.
And the people that love Trump, they feel like this is a witch hunt. And they feel like all the things he's getting indicted for are bullshit anyway. Not only does it not work, but it kind of hardens their position that he's being targeted. And that these are like the actions of a banana republic. You take your political rival and you arrest him. And specifically, you charge him with things that you're fucking guilty of. Like the documents, like the classified documents. Biden's guilty of the exact same issue.
You gotta respect the level of deceptiveness that's been used. I mean, look at what Hillary did, going and saying, hey, it's Russia, but it was really, what she was doing. And now they're using a similar play as well.
Now, my favorite part about Joe Rogan they tried as hard as they could to cancel Joe Rogan. They tried, this is so stupid. Really great job, guys. Way to piss off this guy and now get him on our side. And by our side, I don't mean he's a Republican. I just mean that he's like a free thinker and can view the world level and logically. Now you get articles like this. The country was thriving. Joe Rogan says that more things were getting done when Donald Trump was president. Unemployment was down. Regulations relaxed. Is he right? This article is great. This is from Yahoo Finance. Goes on to say Donald Trump did lower unemployment to the lowest rate since December 1969, 3.5%. But the landscape changed dramatically when Dr. Fauci released a virus in order to destroy Donald Trump's economy because they realized exactly how powerful it was and how people aren't going to care. They don't care about the mean tweets if you got a great job and if your dollar is strong and if your stock market is strong and if everything is roaring in this country. People ain't going to give a damn about Orange Man mean tweets. Regulation. Trump wanted to reduce regulatory burden on businesses. His administration pursued a deregulation agenda. Trump administration rolled back numerous environmental regulations, including those related to emissions from power plants, fuel economy standards. And he also made efforts to relax central banking regulations put in place after the framing of this, of course, is Donald Trump bring back regulations. We're all going to die. Trump signed an executive order requiring federal agencies to eliminate 2 regulations for every one they proposed. Biden's approach is markedly different. One of his first actions was to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. Yeah. His administration also moved to reinstate and expand environmental protection agencies and blah, blah, blah. So who was better for investors? Donald Trump. So I love the fact check here is like, fact check is like, oh yeah, Joe Rogan's right about everything. Donald Trump was better on regulations, better on unemployment, and better, of course, for investors. So take that, take your fake news and shove it. There are reasons to be uplifted, and there's reason to be hopeful. Joe Rogan on our side is one of many. Come on, baby. Let's go. We can fix this nation, save this nation. 2024, roll on, roll out. Joe Rogan. The MAGA hat stays on. Like, share, subscribe. See ya.